Coach, I might just give you a quick audio check to make sure you sound good. It sounds good to me. Kyle, sound good to you?
I could not hear him. Nope. There's no sound.
Stand by. Again? Okay, stand by, sorry.
All right, everybody. Looks like we're ready to get going here with Coach Traylor. JJ, I saw your hand raised earlier. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. Hey, Jeff, how's practice this morning?
The weather's just been so fantastic. We were pretty sharp today. One of our better practices, and I was really glad to see that.
Have you noticed your practice sessions kind of improving as the season's gone along? Because you guys haven't still had a lot of time together.
It's small increments. We really talked a ton about being extraordinary at the ordinary, just cleaning up small stuff. And I feel like the kids have really been trying to do that. And every day we're together, you're right. It's an opportunity for us to grow. We're definitely not bored, for sure. We got a lot of stuff to fix.
Okay, Evan, you're up. Evan, you're on mute.
First time on Zoom, my bad. So, Coach, I want to first start with a national story with everything happening with the Titans and the coronavirus cases that are happening. Is that a learning experience that you can bring to your team? I know there have been a litany of college football cases where your team is constantly reminded, hey, we need to do the right things to play. But is this another example to just say, we're not out of the woods by any means, and each week we have to follow the rules and the protocols?
Yeah, like our test Monday, we're all on a group text together, and Nick texted in there big as Dallas. We're all still good, and I just missed the text, so it got later in the evening, and I was starting to get scared because I hadn't heard from him yet. And I talked to Coach Brown, and he's like, "No, we're good. It's in the text." So I scrolled back through it. So there's not a day we're not thinking about it, Evan. And it's nerve-wracking, honestly, and it's a grind mentally. But we just got to stay in our own bubble, and it's the same old. But I'm going to talk to our staff today in our meetings about just even us. Let's just keep being consistent, keep being the best we can be every day, because that's what we're asking our players to do. We have to do the same thing as men as well.
And then also, I want to talk about Tariq. We talked on Monday about his play with his calf and the interception. But when you came to the school, and I do remember you saying, look, we need to evaluate all the talent, put people in right spots, and as coaches, that's our jobs. When it came to Tariq, what stood out to say, hey, this guy needs to be staying on defense versus his role as a wide receiver?
A lot of it was roster evaluation. We felt like we had some receivers, and we felt like by bringing in Dingle, we brought in another starter. It's hard to find corners, and we saw enough ability to flip his hips and run, and the kid wanted to do it. He wanted to do it. Coach Brown has played in the league, and that always helps when you have a guy that's played in the league. Those guys, tend to buy in a little bit quicker, and Nick played that position, so that helped as well.
And then also, just as you're watching him progress, how impressive has it been to see him embrace that challenge? But also, it seems like he's been a fairly quick learner.
With him, and which was a lot of guys at corner, it's more of a 6-inch game. It's between his 2 ears, and just getting him mentally tough and learning to play the next play and forget about the last one, which is a tough transition from wide receiver to corner, because at receiver you're going to get opportunities. At corner, you don't know how many opportunities you're really going to get to make a play on a game. So when it comes, it's everybody's eyes are on you, and it's always a big play. So it was just more of a mental thing with Tariq than anything else.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, Greg, you're up.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Good morning, Greg.
Morning. I just want to be clear. So at this point in the week, you guys are 100% with COVID testing and contact tracing. Everybody's available?
10 tests in a row. So knock on wood, brother.
Right. How about Frank Harris? How has he looked through practice this week? Any update to his status at this point?
He's getting better every day.
Cool. And then I wanted to circle back on Jamal Ligon. We've talked about him a lot this week, but every time he sort of gets brought up, you make it sound like you have a relationship with him that goes back even before her coaching with him in high school. Like, what's your relationship with Jamal? How far back do you guys go?
It's a great question. It seems like he was at one of my very first camps when he was in junior high. Possibly he might have even come to my camps in East Texas when I was a high school coach. It just seems like I've known him for a long time. His mother and father and I just hit it off. That we're good friends, and he's just a good kid. And he's known him for a long time. I'm just glad he's on my team.
I want to ask you about Zakari as well. We talked a lot about him too, but does it change what you can do offensively to have a guy like that? Does he open anything up new that you might not have had before or might not have gone to as much?
The first thing about Zakari is how smart he is. I mean, he didn't get to practice a whole lot, but if you put him on the board and ask him to draw any of our concepts, he would draw them as good as our coaches can draw. So it starts between his ears. He's very sharp. Came from a great program in Cedar Hill with high expectations, so he knows what it's like to play in big ball games. They've won a lot of ball games there before, and his ability to go down the field and catch the ball is different. He's a real deep threat, strong hands, and his run after catch is impressive as well.
And then the last thing for me, I actually had one of your fans reached out to me on Twitter, wanted me to ask about Alan Horace. I know he came in as a pretty highly recruited guy. Just, is there a chance you could see the field this year, or how is he progressing?
Yeah, he's getting better. He got injured in fall camp with his hamstring, and it put him about, 4 to 6 weeks behind. So he's just been healthy now for about 2 or 3 weeks. So he's getting more and more reps every day. But Leroy's been playing really well. So is Gavin, and so is Oscar. So there's 3 tight ends in front that have also been playing very well. So, when that you know how this game is, it's a rough game. So people are going to get injured and get hurt. And Allen's got to be ready when his number's called. He will be. He's got a smile on his face every day, working his tail off. And we're just getting him acclimated to college, classes. It's a lot on true freshmen. And all of our freshmen are doing fantastic, but it's just a lot to get used to.
That's all.
Hey, JJ.
Jeff, when we talked with Spencer Burford yesterday, he said kind of the being a heavy underdog was sort of a motivating factor. 20 is a big number. Do you feel like that's going to help motivate you guys this week?
If you're a competitor, it will. I mean, what's your favorite sport, JJ? What sport do you like to play?
Football, yeah.
Do you play football, JJ? Could you imagine if you were going on your front yard and play with your buddies and they told you were a 3-touchdown underdog? It'd probably get you a little juiced up. So, yeah, I'm sure it'll have our guys ready to go. And it is a large number, but that you had to give the credit to UAB, what they've done for so many years and won that many ball games, haven't lost a home game in that place. So they deserve it. They've earned it, and we haven't done enough yet to earn that. So in order to do that, you got to go do some stuff, and we haven't done anything yet.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank y'all.
Anything else for Coach Traylor? All right. Thank you. We'll get some.
God bless. Birds up.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you. I first just want to ask you, what is this 3-0 start for you guys, and what's the feeling in the locker room?
Honestly, it feels good because I don't think my time here being 3-0. I'm not sure, but just being 3-0 on the college level is it feels great, honestly, because every win is not easy to come by, so it feels pretty good. Everybody in the locker room feels good about it, but we just want to keep stacking and keep being 1-0 every week. So we just got to make sure we win day by day and then win week by week, and it just all add up in the end.
Yeah, and how are you feeling? You're out there with one hand making interceptions.
Honestly, it just felt good because just to get my first interception when I was close to having one versus Stephen F. Austin, SFA, it just felt good to finally just go ahead and get one. But I didn't expect it to be with a club and just a regular hand.
And what has the transition been like for you on the other side of the ball? I know you dabbled with it in the past, but just making that commitment, saying you're going to be in the secondary, leaving the wide receiving stuff behind, just what has that whole process been like for you?
Honestly, it's been a pretty great process and one that worked for the better. And like I said in the past, it was one thing I was iffy about, but just trusting my work ethic and trusting my craft, and just I kept praying about it and kept talking to my family about it. It was just something smart that I wanted to do, and so far everything's been going good.
Coach said that one of the toughest things for a cornerback outside of maybe a wide receiver is, maybe as a wide receiver you get looks. You know when you're going to get in the looks, and you might get him like 7, 8, 9 times a game. When you're a cornerback, you just don't know when that big play is coming or when the ball is being thrown your direction. So mentally, how have you reconfigured your mind, and how tough has that been?
It's been pretty tough, but that's when the watching film comes in and comes into play. And just going along through the game, you just get to learn the players on the other team, and that's when you get kind of used to what the other team is scheming up.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Have a great day.
You too.
Hey, JJ, you're up.
Hey, Rick, Coach was telling us he almost didn't let you play this week because of the injury you had. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, honestly. Just keep doing therapy and rehab on my forearm has been going good. And when I first had got my cast fitted, it came up pretty high. So earlier in the week, it was kind of feeling a little heavy. So they kind of chopped it down a little bit to make it kind of smaller so I can get full flex in my arm. So everything's been going good. Just a long-term process that I want to go by real fast so I can just get back to playing normal. So it's been good.
Well, When did that injury happen? Was it during practice or was it the week before?
It actually happened the second quarter of the Stephen F. Austin game. I made a tackle on a running back, and the next play we went we had field goal block, and I put my hand down, and right when I put my hand down, I just fell forward. So I just thought it was a bone bruise, and we just were treating it as a bone bruise throughout the game, and I just put a pad on it, and then that Monday after practice, we went and got X-rays, and that's when I found out I had broke the radius bone in my forearm, but the doctor said I didn't have to have a surgery. He said I can play, so I just said, okay, I want to play.
How long are you gonna have to wear that cast for? Have they told you?
Honestly, no, but I think it's 4 to 6 weeks, hopefully. But I mean, with all the therapy and stuff going on, and if I can tolerate pain, we'll just see how everything goes.
Okay, Greg, you're up.
Yeah, Tariq, I want to ask about the playing with the cast. What's the biggest challenge of that? Is there anything you couldn't do or ways you felt slower?
Honestly, playing with the cast, it has to get some getting used to. I can say the biggest challenge is just carrying it around, to be honest, because it's kind of heavy. But with all the treatment I've been doing in therapy and in the weight room, they just been building up my shoulders and my upper body on my right arm, just so I can be able to get used to carrying around the cast on my arm. Yes, sir.
Are there ways you can or need to adjust how you play to really just having like one free hand?
Yeah, the key is just to use my eyes real good and just to focus. You got to focus way much than you would have to with two hands. So just being able just to stay focused and just trying to use my hand, even though it may be pain, just a lot of ways, but just those two, focusing and trying to just get used to the pain, is really the two keys.
And as you're getting ready for UAB, what stands out about their receiver, Austin Watkins, number 6?
Honestly, he's a very talented guy. I respect him, and just watching him on film, he's a great player. But I just gotta go out there and just treat it like every other week, and just keep putting the work in, and just go with the game plan the coaches put in and trust it, and hopefully everything will just come out on top.
Do you feel like your secondary is going to be, matching up certain DBs to certain targets through the game, or are you guys going to mix it up quite a bit in terms of who's covering who?
I can say we'll be mixing it up, to be honest. We'll just during the game, we'll just see how everything goes.
And you guys are 3-0, but you come into this game as 20-point underdogs. How do you feel about that?
I feel many ways about that, but I can honestly say I feel good about being an underdog because my years here, just us losing, a lot of teams treat us like we just a little bitty team from San Antonio. So just going out there and being a 20-point underdog really puts hunger in the team and makes us want to go out there and play even harder. So just hearing that just gives us a more edge to keep playing harder.
Yeah, what's been the message from the coaches about trying to bring that edge out of you, or how they can use that to your advantage?
Basically just the 20-point underdog thing, just seeing that and the coach seeing that, they put that in our heads, and we just want to go out there and just execute our game plan this Saturday and show them that we're really not the same team from last year, or we're really not that 20-point underdog that everybody makes us seem to be.
What's the hardest thing about their offense to slow down? Is there anything you're going to be keyed in on?
They have a very talented running back, and just being able to stop the run and stopping deep shots will really help us go out there and give us a good chance in winning the game.
Well, thank you, Tariq.
Anything else?
Thank you. Have a great day.
Anything else for Tariq? All right, thanks. We'll get Jamal in there next.
All right, thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
Tariq.
Thank you.
Hey, Jamal, just count to 3 real quick and make sure we can hear you.
1, 2, 3.
Perfect. Okay, take questions for Jamal Ligon. JJ, you're up first.
Hey, Jamal, how's it going today?
Great. How about yourself?
Not too bad, thanks. How's practice today?
It was good. There's some things we need to work on. Execution-wise, we're straining every day, and we're getting better at that. But as far as the game plan goes, there's a few things we need to clean up, and I'm sure we will.
You were named the Conference USA Player of the Week this week. What does that mean to you?
It's humbling. It's definitely a feat. But I don't want to get too caught up in it. And as coach says, eat the cheese. I'm more focused on UAB than any of the accolades, and we're just working on a game plan and defeating this team.
Okay, Evan, you're up.
Let me turn this up. Jamal, can you break down your recruitment with UTSA? I know for Jeff Traylor, he said that you were one of the first people he brought in, and for you, what was the deciding factor, and what linked you to UTSA so early? Was it just Traylor?
No, just the school I was committed to wasn't a good fit for me, and here in San Antonio, it's a good environment. It's a family environment, and they emphasized that on my official. They emphasized the family, and I felt it. And I wasn't so caught up in the facilities and all the materialistic stuff. I was just on what it could be. I was focused on that, and it was really just it was like a no-brainer. Like, this is the place for me.
And now having spent that month, at least game-wise, playing here, going to 3-0, as far as the move to come to UTSA and projecting, hey, look, this is a place where it could be. I imagine you see yourself right at the center of that when we're talking with this team, not only this year, but, for the next 3 years. Just for you projecting yourself and what you want to bring to this program, just, what are some of those tenets that you believe in?
Well, this program, I'm gonna give this program everything I've got for as long as I can, and I know that the coaching staff and my brothers are gonna do the same. So it was just knowing that it was really a no-brainer.
And then also just coming in as a freshman, making an impact right away. Just what kind of opportunity has this been like for you, and what has been the toughest learning curve coming out of high school and implementing yourself into the collegiate game?
Right. I'd say the toughest thing was taking my the way I prepared for games. I'd taken that to another level, and just more studying, more attention to detail, and yeah.
Is there a player on this team that you're specifically looking up to, that's taking you under his wing?
I don't know. We just play ball. That's all I can say.
I appreciate you. Thanks, my man.
Okay, Greg, you're up.
Jamal, how you doing today?
Great. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm wondering, Coach said that you played 93 snaps in this game. How did you feel physically being on the field for that long?
I feel good. I'm great. Coming from high school, I played both ways, and I played well over that. And I mean, it's gonna be a couple of nicks and bruises, but other than that, I'm good. Nothing to worry about.
Now that you've had some time to reflect on it and watch the film, how did you evaluate your own game? Were you happy with your performance overall?
No, I mean, 19 tackles, it was great, but there were some things that I didn't do right. It's just some things you can always work on, and I always try and look at my weaknesses and not my strengths in playing.
Has that always kind of been how you approach the game, just sort of constantly looking for those little things you can fix up?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Coach was telling us that I guess you guys' relationship goes back to like middle school when you might have gone to one of the camps of his or something like that. Do you remember when you first met him?
Freshman year. It was my freshman year. Yeah. I went to a Gilmer camp, and he came down there. That was the first time I met him. He came down there, and we talked, and we chopped it up, and we've been cool ever since.
Did you guys keep in touch with like after that, or what was your relationship like?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's my guy. Mm-hmm.
And then I guess you took a visit here like right after he got hired. Do you remember what that was like?
Uh-huh. Yeah. It wasn't like most official visits. I was here for a day, and then I had to go to another one. But while I was here, like I said, it felt right. It felt like home.
Okay, JJ.
Hey Jamal, what can you tell us about UAB? They got a pretty good offense. What are some of the things they do right, and what are you guys looking at?
They're good at taking shots. They're good at their run game. They play hard, but I feel like we can match that. I'm confident that we can. We limit their run and their amount of explosive plays, and I feel like we're in a good position.
What's it been like playing next to Trevor? He had a pretty good game like this past week as well. What are some of the things he does well, and what have you learned from him?
Just his approach. He's just his calm, and it's kind of calming to be beside him, because it's like, you come into a game, you might have a couple butterflies. It's just natural. You love the game, you're gonna get a couple butterflies, and just being beside him is kind of calming. Knowing that he knows what to do, and you can just just depend on each other.
And then you guys are listed as big underdogs this week against UAB. Is that a motivating factor for you guys?
Of course it is. Yes. I mean, it is what it is. People say what they're gonna say. We can't worry about that. We can't do anything about that. We can only focus on us, and that's what we're planning on doing. That's what we've been doing.
Hey, Greg, you want to wrap this up?
Jamal, did you always know that you would be a linebacker in college, or do you think it might be another position?
I suspected it. I figured that I would eventually become a linebacker. When I committed, I committed as a wheel. But what Chuck and Solo and them play. Coach Nick seen me at practice. He was like, "Man, you can move." And he said, "How do you feel about playing inside linebacker?" I said, whatever it takes to win. I don't care." And it's been getting easier. It gets easier.
Had you played that position before, or was that totally new to you?
I played a couple games in high school, but other than that, it's new to me.
So what's the biggest difference compared to what you're used to, or what's like the hardest thing about that switch?
Just being inside of everything, just seeing the O lineman in front of you instead of being off the edge. You're seeing the O lineman in front of you, and just seeing everything unfold and where you're supposed to go. It's completely different.
And I understand you played like defensive line the last couple of years in high school. Did you ever think that might be the right spot for you at the next level, or how did you fit there?
I always thought that I was undersized, and I figured that I would eventually switch to linebacker.
And the last thing, Coach Traylor mentioned to us that he said he wasn't sure why you wear number 88. Is there a particular reason you chose that number? You don't see that for a lot of linebackers.
No, I just got number 88. It's different.
Solid. All right, thank you, man. It was good to talk to you.
Sure,
All right,
you too.
Thanks, Jamal.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Jamal.
Thank you.
We'll give Trevor a little bit. He did say he was coming, so we'll give him a little bit. Just stand by.